I wanted to hop on here and discuss a few struggles I have related to my cerebral palsy since it's National Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. Before I go any further, let me just say these experiences are from my point of view as someone who has lived with cerebral palsy for 30 years and yes tend to be less patient with things, though I try to give people a period of growing time if you will. Now for anyone following me for the past couple of years know that I have really focused on relationships rather than going to events and not really knowing anyone other than their names. This is because for me going to events where the interaction is at a minimum does not show me that you accept me as a person like everyone else. It is as if I am hanging out with complete strangers, which for me feels empty. At the end of the day, I am left feeling like I am being dragged along with no equal participation in the activity. There is no emotional connection or foundation on which the events can have their proper place in the relationship. Another reason is because for 30 years now, people have used these events as knowing me when in reality most of the time it makes them feel good when they are seen in public with a person who has a disability. I am not against going to religious services, sports events, watching movies, hiking and even going out to eat. In fact, I enjoy those activities when done in their proper place. Some of my favorite memories with friends are at restaurants. Now you might be wondering, but what about to and from events? While I appreciate those rides, it's almost like I have to be in a perfect spot for someone to pick me up. Just to make this very clear, I am not targeting one individual. I have dealt with this for years. Also, after a while, these rides get boring talking about the same old stuff over and over. Again, these questions or conversations aren't wrong, but after a while a friendship is more than a 5 to 10 minute ride somewhere. Plus, so often people giving the rides get switched up and then I never hear from the person wanting to hang out. For me, it's sorta like Uber and nothing more. You are probably thinking, well, we have our lives to live and can't hang out with him all the time. I don't expect anyone to be in constant communication with me. However, when it's me making the effort to go to event after event hoping that people will start viewing me as a normal person and start interacting with me outside of events, it gets exhausting. How often do I randomly hear from a friend asking if they would like to hang out or simply ask how my day is going? Not too often. The ones I do hear from, I really do appreciate. You know who you are. With the number of people I know in Wilmington, I shouldn't be spending 95% of my time in my apartment alone. I would love to get a random text from someone on the weekend asking if I wanted to join whatever they are doing. Another frustrating thing for me is that most of my interactions with friends are dependent upon events. Friends keep in touch whether or not a particular activity is happening. The alternative feels like you are only important because an event is happening. Again, I don't expect people to be texting me all the time, but to go a whole summer or break without hearing from anyone is pathetic and really tells me that I am nothing more than a number for an event. Lastly, I focus on having relationships because I want you to eventually be comfortable around me. I want to be in friendship mode rather than an activist mode. I understand that people are naturally hesitant to interact with people with disabilities if they haven't had any prior experience because of our messed up, broken societal hierarchy system. I don't expect you to be perfect, but I do expect to see a change in your approach to me over time. Also, don't be afraid to ask questions about what I can or cannot do. At the same time though, be respectful of my answer. I am fully capable of assessing any risks involved. Some of my biggest arguments with friends have been over them not being willing to accept that I am capable of making my own decisions about certain activities. Finally, relationships are built on mutual trust and respect. I extend my friendship to people whom I feel accept me. However, when people don't have the courtesy to extend this mutual trust and respect back to me, it really irks me. It shows me that you don't see me as a person whom you can approach and just be honest with me about things. Those kind of action are more problematic than whether or not something came up or whatever the issue might be. In closing, I want to say that I know friendships are not perfect and I am not perfect. I am not targeting any specific person with this video. For those watching this, just be aware of these things going forward.